Hi everyone, it's Desiree, and I am here with Birch Press Designs with another design team project. And this is about the ornaments, all kinds of beautiful ornaments that they've recently just released. So these are the basically 5 sets that we're going to be using. So the first one, the Ornament Basics, is where you will get your toppers if they're the toppers that you want to use, and plus all of these other pieces, which is the solid ornament, and then all of these add-ons that you can decorate your ornament with. So you can just go with the Ornament Basics and have fun creating your own beautiful layers. That set does coordinate with the next 4. The first one is called Flicker, and it comes with 3 layers. Now you can see, except for A, B can work on its own, C can work on its own, A can go over just C and just B, and then you can even use the other add-ons from the Ornament Basics. Our next one is called Bell. This is one of those that reminds me of those old-fashioned glass ornaments. But again, the layers, A can work with B alone, with C alone, and then the center part of C is a separate piece as well. And again, we can create with the Ornament Basics. Next up is called Marisol, and these are beautifully detailed. So you have A that outlines each of these beautiful designs. B and C will go very well just by themselves, and B will absolutely go very well by itself also. The last is called Twinkle. This is the one that really makes me smile. Lots of memories with these ornaments. My grandmother had many sets of those old-fashioned glass ornaments, and they all resembled this. That center is what does it for me and reminds me of those. And these 3 together create a beautiful pattern. But again, just layer A with the Ornament Basics base will create a beautiful ornament as well, and you can create more layers as well with the Ornament Basics. So all 5 of these do coordinate perfectly with any design that you can come up with. Just remember, for the topper, that only goes and is available in the Ornament Basics. So these here are just some of the ones that I've played with the layering, and I've created them to be double-sided. I've added some jute from my stash, and I do like to have the jute hanging down. You can choose which hanger you want to use. You could even add some beads into these before you layer them in between the 2 sides. That is what's great about these dies. They are symmetrical, so you can create a 2-sided ornament. And that's what we're going to do. You can see I've done all of my die cutting, and I've chosen some very different colors for these ornaments. Ornaments are not just set in certain colors, so you can have a lot of fun choosing the colors that are your favorite. So first up, I dug into my stash. I used up my scraps, which was very nice. I grabbed my art glitter glue, and I am going to go to town and just layer these together. Now, again, I'm making them 2-sided, so I cut 2 bases from the Ornament Basics, and then I cut 2 of each die in each of the layers of the 3 layers for the Marisol. And I'm going to layer them up. So I chose like a wine burgundy and a shimmer lavender, and then a craft for that final layer that goes on the top. I am really liking this color combination. The solid is a very pale craft. It's almost like a parchment color. So it's a craft, but pale. Well, that's the best way I can say it. So you can see I'm creating 2. Now you can leave them just like this and just have a backer on the back of it. Then this way people can make a note. They can sign it for when they hang it on their tree. They can make this their card by signing it and putting the date on it. And when somebody goes to put that on their tree, it will be dated by yourself who designed it. because it is, remember, it is your piece of art whenever you layer these. So I have my two sides done, and now I'm going to show you how I place my twine or jute or anything that you would like to use in between. So I create the letter I with some double-sided tape, and this allows me to position the twine or the string exactly where I want it to go. So I cut a length and I fold it up and I create loops. I place it down into the double-sided tape, and then I bring up the next layers with the ends, and I make sure they're hidden behind the card as well, or the ornament. Now you can see, and I'll go over with some double-sided tape, so you can see I create these layers down on the bottom. So lots of loops. Now you can cut those and put them together to make a tassel out of the bottom of your ornament. But I really do like this loop that's going on through that. Now this wasn't on straight. Breathe, breathe. There we go. It comes apart. It looks horrible, but we're going to hide all that. And we're just going to put it back together straight. Yeah. You'll see these little tiny clips that I use that hold them right where the twine comes out. That just helps to make sure those points are secured down. They are back from my sewing days. They are wonderful. So on our next one, we are now going to use the Twinkle die set. So some very bright blues, periwinkles or purples, whatever color that you would see, and I even pulled in some silver mirror cardstock because I wanted that center to be silver, because that's usually how those old-fashioned glass ornaments are. This piece here that I'm gluing is a blue shimmer that's going to go on top of that really dark color, and that dark color just pops right through those layers. You can see I have a lighter shade of that bright blue for the solid base that's going to go behind, and that's going to come through the cutout of the star in the center. Now you could use another color of mirror cardstock, you could inlay that, whatever it is that you would want to do. Again, the choices are absolutely endless on these. Now I just used cardstock, but you could embellish with jewels and gems and sequins and really bring these ornaments to life even more. So dig into your stash. These are perfect for that. To use up those scrap pieces of paper, those leftover pieces of embellishments, whatever you may have, these are great. So I set up my twine off to the side using one of those clips, and now I'm going to be able to just place this down into the double-sided tape. Try to make it, or I'm trying to make it as even as possible when it comes off of those points, just to make it look even. I do finish up with a couple pieces of double-sided tape going across that, just to help to keep that twine or string in place. I'm going to add my liquid adhesive, and then I'm going to layer these two together as well. And you can hang these any way that you would want. You could use the longer loops and hang that on your tree, or you can use the shorter ones. Now for the twinkle, I'm actually going to pull in one of the die cuts from the Ornament Basics and continue to layer off of this design already. So now I've created a fourth layer for this ornament, and I'll do the same thing on the other side. I think this is a pearlescent shimmer cardstock, and I think just by adding that to the top and the bottom, it kind of gave this ornament more life. Just made it a little bit brighter. I think without that, it was beautiful, but it just needed that pop of color. For our next one, this is the flicker, and this is just very, I love this one. It's just very unique. You have this solid piece here, And then you have that back piece that you're putting on it. I like to put that to the back of that cardstock. Now I got glue on my iridescent mirror cardstock. I just use a baby wipe to wipe it away, and that seems to do the trick. And then I just make sure that I dry it. I'm going to place now layer A on the top and the bottom of the iridescent, and that gray that I'm using behind the mirror cardstock is a shimmer gray. That just adds a little bit more to the back. I'm using a lighter shade of what I'm using for the front for the backing to just lighten this up just a little bit. Now again, you could dig into the ornament basics and choose all kinds of different ends for this card or for this ornament as well. You don't have to just let it be like that, so you can keep adding. So again, you can see all of these just interchange. Like I see this design, layer C, which is really the first one for the flicker, would go great, I think, with the twinkle ornament, with the marisol as well. I think these are just, they do a great job just building on themselves when they're all together. I'm going to do the same thing, create that letter I with the double-sided tape, and again I'm going to use my jute or twine just to add my hanger in there. So I do always start out by folding it in half so that I do have enough for the top. And then however this falls, I let it fall. Now this one's going to have a really long single loop that comes off of the bottom of it. And I'm just going to make sure that's placed the same way on each of the sides as best as I can. Again, placing my double-sided tape going across, and then adding my liquid glue as well, and then adhering both sides together. I do hope my voice is okay with this. I will check it before I post it, but I had to get a new microphone. So different setup going on here. And hopefully it works. So those are the clips that I am referring to. They are great for binding and just holding things together so that they adhere and don't lose their grip when it comes to that. So I really do like that tassel or loop system that's coming off that. For this last ornament, I am using only the pieces from the Ornament Basics just to show that you can create your own layered ornament just using this set. So I've cut out from gold cardstock the base, and then I chose the traditional green and red, and I'm using the green for the top and bottom solids, and then I'm going to come in with those reds. And my mistake, I do add pieces from other ornaments, so my bad, I forgot. Because remember, on the bell ornament, we do have some extra pieces that come off. We also do have some extra pieces that come off the twinkle as well when it comes to the ovals. And I'm going to pull those in just to help give this more dimension, more layers, but just also to show that, again, they're interchangeable and you can create your own design. So you can see how that looks. You can put a sentiment through the center of that. Again, there are no limits to these. I am a huge fan. If you've seen my videos before, I'm a huge fan of tags. Love tags. Can't get enough of them. And ornaments are the same way for me. I do love to make these types of ornaments. So these are the pieces that I'm pulling in. So I'm going to use that one scalloped, and I'm going to use the gold that came from the bell ornament. And I'm just going to use my double-sided foam squares to prop up the gold panel on top of that green scalloped. going to set that down so that gold glitter with that gold mirror just kind of accents itself. And then I'm just going to glue those right on top of that. Again, it just breaks up that ornament just a little bit, but I can still see all the colors that are there. Here again, we're going to see that contraption that I put in between, sandwiched in between my two sides. And we'll be adding our string to the center. I always want to make sure that the end of the string is in the center, unless you want that to be part of the tassel. Now you can have that hanging down and then just cut the other strings, and then you could put a bead in there and tie a knot or wrap some other twine around that base so that you have your own tassel style there. But you could use any type of ribbon here. You could use DMC floss, you could use your satin ribbons, your organza ribbons, anything that you have in your stash. Just dig in, excuse me, and have fun with it. That's one thing that's great with these. You know, these are great stash busters because we can't throw anything away. We keep everything. Whether we die cut or whether we've cut it away, we keep all those little tiny scraps because you never know when they're going to come in handy. Again, I'm going to use those clips just to make sure that it stays adhered. Excuse me. Here are the ornaments that I made. This one I had made earlier when I was just playing with the dies. Just seeing what they could do, just having fun with them. Here are these two designs where I used the center from the one on the left, from the bell, and adhered it to the one just using the basic pieces. There is our flicker, and I'm loving that iridescent mirror cardstock back there. And again, you could even use that piece down on the bottom there to give it some more accents. You could have added more of the iridescent, some white. And then here is our twinkle, adding some more embellishments from the basics. So I do hope you enjoyed this. I hope, even though we're not near Christmas, but it's coming up quick, the holidays are fast approaching, I do hope you enjoyed this. And as always, the products that I used will be listed down below, and it'll be all the sets that I showed here today by Birch Press Designs. If you have any questions, please make sure you leave those down below as well, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. If you haven't yet, I'd love for you to subscribe, be part of my group, and make sure you hit the bell so that you know when your video is ready to watch, you will be notified. I hope everyone is enjoying their day. I hope you're smiling. I hope you're having a good time with your friends and family. Continue to stay safe and healthy. But always remember what's most important for me. Just do it a little bit each day. Always be creative. Till next time, guys.